Denver, Colorado. It's the PWHL Takeover Tour, ready to go. Van City, Rain City, Seattle, Vancouver, ready to renew hostilities. We are underway here in Denver. Vancouver starting out with it. Melissa Channel-Watkins puts that one up. Kayla Barnes forced to go get it. And the Seattle, a quick opportunity there. Sarah Nurse looking to get on the board early. From behind the net, there's Barnes.
Why not, right? Put that puck on net, just see what happens.
She's been cooking, as the kids say. At the other end, right in front. What an opportunity for Alex Carpenter in front of the net.
Talk about putting pucks on net, same thing. Put that one on net. Alex Carpenter's driving down the middle of the ice.
Absolute great crowd inside Ball Arena here. I think a lot of people, as somebody lost it. Edge says, that's Danielle Serdachny. Vancouver comes up with it, and they'll clear the zone, much to their benefit on that one, as Abby Boreen sends it in. Boreen scoring against Toronto back on Thursday night. As Brian Adelsky said, when Abby Boreen scores, they win. Simple as that. Here's Jesse Eldridge leading the team in scoring. Check that. Eldridge off to a great start, though, this season. Puts that on net, deflected by Serdachny, and turned aside.
Same thing, another bad angle shot that looked like it could have created something. And a player like Jesse Eldridge, who you know she's got a goal scorer's touch, especially if she can get in tight.
Laid back, hit the head for Hannah Miller. Couldn't get her hand on that one. All the way down as Lindy Lobdell pushes that one up ahead. Here's Lexia Gia. A big goal against Toronto in Seattle earlier this week. And here comes Izzy Daniel. Leaves that for Miller as Miller got tied up. Izzy Daniel, former Patty Kazmaier Award winner, sits down the ice. Mashmeyer plays that to the corner. Both sides going off for a change. Pushed up ahead. Here's Venisheva. Chips that for Carvin and over to Sarah Nurse. And offside is the call. First whistle of the game.
Take a look at Brian Adelsky, coach of Vancouver, and had an opportunity to talk to him before the game. Pretty happy with his team coming off of that 5-0 win, and I think he's starting to see some of the things that he thought this team could be, but a little bit more teaching involved than he thought maybe there was going to be at the start of the season to get everyone on the same page. And Steve O'Rourke, the same thing with his squad. As he said, he basically has 26 trades coming into his team. You get a situation where nobody's familiar, everybody's new. So both of these teams, building from scratch, I think was a little harder than anyone anticipated.
Well, and I think, and to that point, I think both of these coaches have kind of pointed out that I think these players are starting to recognize that it's not going to be handed to them, as so many of us media prognosticators, Becky, were saying, hey, these are instant contenders for the Walter Cup this year. But they have to come together. Yeah, preseason prediction for sure had these two teams in the Walter Cup final, and right now it's not played out that way, and they sit both at the bottom of the standings. So yeah, a little harder than I think that they thought it was going to be. A 3-point victory could put both these teams right back in there. There's a shot on net, turned aside as Hillary Knight looks to go in transition. Pushed up ahead. From behind the net. Little banging and crashing. Claire Thompson pushes that up for Sophie Jakes. Flips that down the ice, and we're going to get an icing call. No, icing waved off as Abby Boreen, good hustle on the forecheck, moving her legs. Thompson tried to center that. That was broken up. And back the other way, here's Michaela Grant-Mentis. And that one's over to Brooke Bryant. Shot there by Keppel. That was blocked, and here comes Vancouver. Boreen through the neutral zone. Has got Jen Gardner on the right side. Pushes that one back. Sydney Bard. Cross ice speed. Here's a streaking Daniel. Off a skate in front. Danger zone. But Hannah Murphy turned that one aside. Here's Daniel again. Looking to put that on net. Blocker stopped there by Murphy. Hannah Miller picks that one up. Here's Bard. Fanned on her shot. But Daniel to pick it up. Puts it back to Bard. Backhands it back down for Daniel. Long shift here for Vancouver. Put on net, and Murphy will swallow that one up and get the whistle. Troy Ryan somewhat jealous, saying, all that work that we did with her in Toronto last year, and you're starting to see it all pay off in Vancouver, of course.
Well, she's got a real opportunity here to play on the top line as well, start to develop a little chemistry, get a little bit more ice time, and then again you start to see the confidence.
Through the neutral zone, in on the attack, Sudakny puts it on net, and she's looked noticeable here in the early minutes of this one. Here's a shot blocker stop by the Mashmeyer! The monster mash! The D giving stick taps on that one, right?
Well, they are. I love when your goalie helps you out a little.
Absolutely. Vanisheva got tripped up there. Here comes Hillary Knight. Knight, who has appeared on Saturday Night Live, among others. Here comes Karvinen. Karvinen shot. Murphy save. A rebound. Loose puck. In front. Whistle blown. And here we go. Vanisheva right in the eye of the storm. No surprise there.
Well, when she's in the thick of things, she's at her best.
Number 3, minor penalty, 2 minutes, roughing.
And this is what happens when you put pucks on net and you drive the net. Sometimes you're able to force those penalties as well. Sarah Nurse intercepts a pass, quick transition up to Carton, and she throws it on net. Now that puck is sitting there. Nobody can quite find it. And you look at Teresa Vanisheva. She pokes and jabs at the goaltender. Kayla Barnes said, I don't really like that.
She is a shift disturber. Drop behind the net. There's Sarah Nurse. Back to the line. That was deflected. Hannah Miller comes up with it. Intercepted. And back the other way. Here comes Alex Carpenter. Carpenter's got a Gia. Gia had that jailbreak goal earlier in the week. Jakes will slow things down from her own end. Jakes has really turned her game around here over the last month. Really kind of leveled up here.
She's having a good season.
Here's Nurse, centering feed, nobody home, and Vancouver will be forced to regroup.
These are the little things that they're not doing well, right? Those should be simple passes. You've got the entry, you've gained the blue line, you've done the hard thing. And now you're in a position where you're at your setup and you miss a pass, and you're back down and you're trying to gain entry again. So just getting on the same page with some of the little things.
Here comes Vanisheva across the line, down the left side, cutting to the net, backhanders on the line, waved off. Somehow it stayed out. Vanisheva, who scored her first just 3 nights ago, almost had her second going hard to the net. And Vancouver will stay on the power play with another 56 seconds and an opportunity for some fresh legs here. Thompson at the point. Over to Vanisheva, the one who caused this storm to begin with. From behind the net. Here's Gabby Rosenthal. Sends it back to the line. Thompson. Ashton Bell, the captain. Back to Vanisheva. To Bell. 33 seconds to go. Down low. Rosenthal put it wide of the net. Kept in. Back to Thompson. Thompson leaves that one for Bell. Back to Thompson. Floats that on net. Stopped by Murphy. Back it goes. Thompson. Down to Vanisheva. Steps in front. Shot! Stopped by Murphy again. Hannah Murphy showing why. She is earning that spot as arguably the number 1 in Seattle is offside as the call with 6 seconds to go on that power play. Kayla Barnes ready to come on out of the box here as Nurse tried to center that one as both teams are back to 5-on-5. Here's Nurse again. Trying to go backhand, forehand, knocked away, centering feed again. As Vancouver musters, shot in front, Karvinen denied. What an opportunity. Still no luck as Vancouver gets 2 power play shots, but no goals so far as we remain scoreless. 7.5 minutes into this one.
Looking for a little puck luck in front of the net. Sarah Nurse, who had a prime opportunity just before that as well.
Seattle looking to go the other way now. Here's Bilka. Knight and Carpenter. The big line here for the Torrent. Barnes puts it on net and Mashmeyer stops that one and hangs on for the whistle. Hannah Murphy coming up big and Mashmeyer answering her own call. Zeros between Van City and Seattle. Off the draw, Seattle wins that one. Alex Carpenter edging out Sarah Nurse on that one. We might be seeing that face-off in Italy in just a couple of weeks here. Bilka couldn't handle that pass, and here comes Michelle Carvin, and up ahead Venisheva, who was tied up by Wilgren. Barnes picks up with it. I'll tell you what, we got a hot crowd here in Denver, and Becky, full disclosure, I think a lot of us were kind of wondering, look, a few hundred meters across the parking lot, there was an AFC championship game involving the Denver Broncos as the puck goes out of play. I think a lot of people were wondering, oh boy, is the city going to be busy with something else? But I'll tell you what, Denver has showed out very well here inside Ball Arena. This is legit a great sports town when you look at the Broncos, the Avalanche, who dominated the Leafs today.
Thanks for bringing that
Nuggets.
up.
Well, sorry. And who knows? They might be hosting a PWHL franchise next year, dare I say? Potentially.
Is this a preseason prediction?
Well, you know, I've got a few wrong in the past, but I don't know. I feel good about this one. I feel like there's good energy here in Denver.
Some great energy here.
Daniel battling for it. Edged out there by Keppel. Big scrum for it. Daniel comes back up with it, though. Back to the line. Good hustle there by Izzy Daniel. Shot just whistled high and wide by Hannah Miller.
Just got herself a little low. That's a tough angle to release that one-timer and put it on net.
Lots of offense with the Scepters last year. Just hasn't really carried over so far here in Vancouver.
No, and one of the places she was really good was on the power play as well, and we haven't seen that either. Really nice off that flank, and just haven't been able to get anything generated. Again, halfway through the season, not quite. There's time.
Yep. And we just saw that with, you talked about Teresa Venisheva, who was off to a real slow start offensively and now starting to show some signs of life playing alongside Sarah Nurse. So maybe the sign of things to come here. Some physicality there, getting rough and rumble. Man and McMahon throwing the body around. Oh, nice move there by Gosling. Back to the line it goes. Lovedell deflected as that bounces in front of the net. Grant Mentis. Over to Achia. Nobody home in front. As Shahina moves that up ahead to McMahon. Former members of the Ottawa Charge, part of that blockbuster deal, the biggest trade in PWHL history a week ago today, Becky, 3 for 3.
And Vancouver's been very happy with what they've got so far from that trade. They wanted more speed, which Brian Adolski says he really feels like they got it. They played a fast game with those players in the lineup against Toronto.
Offside the call as Thompson went a little too quickly as Maureen hadn't got herself back on side.
We're here with head coach Brian Adolski. And Brian, you had the blockbuster trade. You got 3 new players. You wanted to play fast. What do you think of the start of this game for your squad?
Yeah, I think we're doing a great job. We're getting pucks behind their D, and we're moving our feet and able to get some pressure and some possession. Like us to finish a couple of those chances, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Some really good chances to the start. Thanks, Coach. Have a good game.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment from Brian Adolski there, Becky. That goal line scramble right there that they reviewed, a little unlucky.
Well, you know what? You get them that close and you start to think you're getting your chances. And I like his assessment that they're getting pucks in behind D. I don't think he was hoping for that right off the hop here. Izzy Daniels going to go to the penalty box.
Yeah. Some boarding call here, it looks like.
You know, we talked to Steve O'Rourke before the game about his power play and how he's got Knight off the flank. She's typically a net front player. He said he really likes the look of her there. And
in fairness, Becky, sorry to interrupt. You're used to seeing Hillary parked in front of the net. And so this is a different look for her.
It is. And she's good down there, but he thinks she offers, there's an opportunity for her down low. He thinks she offers something on the flank as well.
This power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Paper Towel. Powering through tough messes. As Seattle was buzzing there, just as Becky was alluding to. And Vancouver quick to get fresh legs here.
Bilka with the nifty move off the side.
Oh, as again, you feel like this unit is too good not to develop. Oh, what a move by Barnes before she finally got tripped up there. And Vancouver sends it all the way down the ice. First one to go get it, Sarah Nurse on the penalty kill. Carpenter pushes that one up, intercepted. And here comes Sarah Nurse with Sophie Jakes right in front. Oh, just a little too far out of the reach of Jakes. Looking for a jailbreak. Carpenter at center.
I love the idea. You're not sitting back, you're not icing pucks if you think you can jump in and go on offense on the penalty kill.
Always a fan of an aggressive penalty kill.
I would agree.
You would agree?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. And you've killed some penalties, so I'll take that as I appreciate that. All right. Emily Brown working alongside. Here's Carpenter as well. Knight. As Vancouver sends it down again. 30 seconds to go here with the extra attacker for Seattle. Still zeros on the board. Shots in favor of Vancouver, 8-7 here. Here comes Serdachny with some steam. Leaving that one. Oh, good hit by Channel Watkins. As Julia Gosling got bumped. Gosling leading the team in scoring right now with 11 points. Here's Serdachny. Tied up, leaves that one down for Snodgrass. Gosling had that one taken away, and we're back to even strength. Jen Gardner up to Hannah Miller. Izzy Daniel to the front. Maybe one too many passes there, Becky.
Oh, right in the middle on her forehand. Pull the trigger.
Seattle with 2 shots on that power play. Daniel seeing a lot of ice time here in this opening frame.
She's been all over the ice. She's been very noticeable.
Miller. Trying to keep it in. Loose puck. Here's Meixna. Meixna had that one poken away by Wildren. And the Denver fans seem to be on Seattle's side for this one, it seems. Just under 6.5 to go here in period number 1. Sid Bard jumping up. Takes that from Vancouver. She's got Abby Boreen, who dumps that one in. And on the forecheck. Abby Boreen with 4 goals on the season. Her latest coming against Toronto on Thursday night at the Pacific Coliseum. One of the biggest crowds the PWHL has seen on a school night, Becky. Over 14,000 in attendance in Vancouver.
Well, they've had some great crowds and a team that has played very well at home.
Good hit there by Rosenthal. And they're still tangled up there with the official at center ice. Rosenthal comes up with it, scrum along the wall. Here's a bump by Brooke Bryant, one of the personalities on the room, who tries to help keep that Seattle room loose.
Yeah, said it's pretty game face sometimes, so you need someone that's going to keep a little lighter. Carpenter and Knight are the consummate pros, but sometimes a little stoic. So
yeah, you need the fun people. You need the fun police. And we're having fun here in Denver, and we hope you're having fun. So don't go anywhere. We're coming back. 5:30 to go here in period number 1 in Denver as the PWHL continues the TakeOver Tour Series inside Ball Arena between the Vancouver Goldeneyes and the Seattle Torrent. And here's Michelle Carvin. Sends that one back to Melissa Channel Watkins. That's floated high. Behind the net, puck on the net. Benisheva for Sarah Nurse, centering feed. Nobody there. And here comes Hannah Bilka looking to go the other way. Across the line. Swatted away by Ashton Bell. And she'll come up with it. To Channel Watkins. Pushes that one up at center. Interrupted. And Barnes sends that one back down. Mashmeyer will play that one. Channel Watkins again. Eludes Bilka, who will go off for a change. Bell brings that out. Seattle will send that right back in.
Well, Bell was looking to make a change there. She got the pass. She couldn't get off the ice.
Loose puck picked up. Farine flips that across the ice. Here's Meixna to Thompson. Thompson's got Jakes with her. There's those 2 offensive defenders.
Well, there you go, right? How often do you see that? Which is why this is a little bit scary right now. You got both D up ice.
And Mashmeyer forced to come out and play that safely to the corner. Outnumbered. And Rosenthal on top of it. They'll continue to play on. Serdachny comes up with. Here's Eldridge centering feed. Skipped up just over. What a chance there for Megan Carter. Goes back to the line. Lobdell. Shot by Serdachny. Deflected wide. Flipped up and into the crowd for a souvenir. Thompson.
Vancouver number 42, minor penalty for delay of game.
So that one's directly out. So we're going to see this Seattle power play one more time. Thompson throws this one directly out of play.
And that'll give Seattle another Royal Tiger Towel power play. Brian Adelski liked how things started, but now suddenly going shorthanded. Seattle 0 for 1 with 2 shots in their first opportunity. Let's see if they can generate something this time with 3:30 to go here in period number 1. Barnes spinning. Gets that one over to Knight. Here's a chance by Bilka, denied by Maschmeyer. Carpenter lost a handle on that as Jakes comes up with it. Had that one taken away from Bilka in front. Knight denied by Maschmeyer. Oh, one of the legends in her sweet spot and denied. Carpenter with a shot. Skipped over the net. This power play is buzzing for the Torrent. Carpenter again. Looking, waiting for Bilka. Bilka from the side of the net. Back to Carpenter. Carpenter leaves that one for Barnes. Coming in. Shot just wide of the net from Eldridge. Hillary Knight. Circling. 1 minute to go on the power play. Barnes had her shot deflected. Rosenthal getting in front of that one. And it'll escape the zone, and Vancouver will try to get some fresh legs out onto the ice. Carpenter back inside on the attack. Bilka with her. Backhand in front. Intercepted by Daniel and sent down the length of the ice with 40 seconds to go on this power play. Becky, they're moving.
Oh, they're moving, and they're hard to contain because you don't know where they're going to be. And they moved in and out of that slot area a couple of times. That's what opened it up, and some really high danger looks. This one, as a coach, you're happy with your power play despite the fact that they didn't connect.
We've got 22 seconds to go, and icing called. 17 seconds to go here for Seattle. Vancouver keeping them pressed in their own end. Izzy Daniel having herself a period. Here's Sir Daphne through center. Gains the zone. Tied up by Watkins. Back to the line. Nurse putting pressure on her. Bell tried to clear it. Kept in. In front. We're back to 5-on-5. Snodgrass. Over to Wilgren. Serdachny's got it behind the net. 3 shots on goal on that power play for Seattle. Off the draw. Here's Venishima. And that one taken away. As Michaela Grant-Mentis. Vancouver back with it. Agia sends that behind the net. MGM battling for that one. Final minute to go here in period number 1. Karvinen flips that one out.
They got that change just in the nick of time.
Yeah, no kidding. They got lucky.
Pretty close.
Kind of wondering about that one, yeah.
She just got her feet off the ice.
Aaron pass from Miller, who couldn't handle that one. Back at center. Venishima leaves that one for Bard. Thompson couldn't handle that. Here's Lovedell. For Seattle, puts that on net. Maschmeyer handles that, leaves it for Bard. Bard will play that. 20 seconds to go. Down the ice it goes. Picked up by Daniel, skipped over her stick. And we'll get an icing call here with 10.9 seconds to go. Miller to take the draw against Allen. Final seconds, Thompson. Gardner scores! Jen Gardner makes it 1-0 Goldeneyes!
Jen Gardner set up high slot and an opportunity to pat this puck down, take a look, and place her shot where she wants it. The Seattle, who had iced the puck, and it comes back to bite them. Nice little play to touch this back. Gardner nice and patient to stay tops of the circles. Thompson, who drives in, of course, your offensive defender who makes that pass. Gardner's able to rip that shot again. You know, you ice the puck and sometimes it comes back and it haunts you, and that's just the situation that Seattle was in. You give a team that offensive zone draw under 10 seconds left in the period.
Is Daniel going to get credit? Did that go off Daniel on the way in?
Well, she might have. There was a nice little screen in front as well.
That was Vancouver's first shot on goal in over 12 minutes. Perfect timing as that key face-off with seconds to go in the period, and Vancouver.
Now, those ones are backbreaking when you give up a goal in the last minute, last 2 minutes even of a period, let alone in the last 6 seconds. Just under 6 seconds left in this first period.
After a quick review, all is well, and the final seconds will tick away as Jen Gardner gets credit for the goal. 1-0 Vancouver after 20. Jen Gardner from Surrey, British Columbia. She's got 8 family members getting ready to head to Italy to watch her putting on the maple leaf coming up. You know about that sort of pride. How excited. What's that like? What is that like? Come on.
It's an unbelievable feeling. And you know what? You get, especially when you get your first time, her family absolutely should be going over. The Olympics are incredible.
I couldn't believe it. Talking to Troy Ryan last week where he said that Natalie Spooner's got 21 family members going over.
As she should.
I guess so. Just remarkable. Here we go. Period number 2 underway. There's Wildren on the backhand up ahead. Here's Alex Carpenter across the line for Bilka. Bilka trying to find Hillary Knight. No one home on that play. Vancouver looking to go the other way. Bell scoops that one into the Seattle zone. She's the first one to get to it. Anisha trying to help out as Knight comes up with it and moves that one over. What a neat story that we just heard from the Jocks and Jills podcast with Hannah Bilkett chatting it up with, you know, when she was very young, having a chance to meet Hillary Knight, and here they are, line mates all these years later, Becky.
Yeah, you know what? And it happens, and that's how you know you're at the end of your career, when you start to meet kids that you've signed autographs.
Oh, what a chance off the post! A glorious opportunity there for Jesse Eldridge. Centering feed once again, nobody home, and it'll scoot all the way down to the Torrent end as Murphy comes out to play it, intercepted by Abby Barine.
Both these teams with a number of grade A's. The score could be a lot more than 1-0 right now.
Well, it's been a wild week of scoring for a season that has been notoriously low scoring. All of a sudden, we've seen an explosion of offense. Seattle with 6 goals against Toronto. Vancouver with 5 against Toronto. And then it was
Minnesota today with 6 goals. And that one's just a tip to the front of the net. And Jesse Eldridge does what she does well, which is go to the net. Puck on net. Mashmeyer makes a save. Eldridge is following it up. She puts this one off of the post. And, you know, it's one, again, that just you get that tip, put it towards the net, and you never know what can happen.
Face off deep inside the Seattle end. Hannah Miller to take the draw against Danielle Serdachny. After the false start, Seattle comes up with the puck. It's Gosling plays that one. And Joe Smith sends that one right back in. Once again, she does the same as Keppel back to play it.
Well, there's nothing more exhausting for a D than having to continuously go back.
Are you saying that from experience? Shot just wide of the net from Michaela Grant-Mentis. Gardner chips that one out. Gardner now with 3 goals on the season for Vancouver.
On another glorious chance for Seattle as a quick transition to a 2-on-1.
Alyssa Channel-Watkins cross-ice feed, nobody home. As Malia Schneider sends that one back in. Schneider, the 10th forward. Interesting as a coach, Brian Adelski, talking about the logistics of trying to shoehorn in a 10th forward.
Well, and he brought her back into the lineup, too, because he said, listen, I want to try to make my 4th line more of a typical 4th line, a little more meat and potatoes, get in on the forecheck, be difficult to play with. And Schneider's got a bit more speed, maybe, a little more grit, and she gets an opportunity. And he wants to see her before this break, too, to see what she can bring.
Schneider playing in Sweden last season after playing 2 games with the Ottawa Charge in their inaugural year.
She had a good preseason. She had a couple goals as well in the preseason.
As that puck is deflected out of play. Seattle. Here comes Carpenter, pushing that up ahead for Wilgren. Wilgren joining the rush, centering feed. Nobody there. Alex Carpenter, the daughter of Bobby Carpenter, who played over 1,100 National Hockey League games. We see so many connections to the PWHL and NHL, whether it's siblings, whether it's parents. Hockey truly is a family affair, Becky. The number 25 for the Seattle Torrent. Off to Milana Cortina, as Becky alluded to, a silver medalist in 2022. Off the draw, here's Bard. Puts that one down low. Meixna cycling, hounded by Keppel. Tries to get it to Barine. Couldn't handle that one. As Jenna Buglioni out there, in the first-round pick for the Torrent. Hasn't had a lot of ice time recently, playing her hockey in the Tri-Cities in Metro Vancouver. As Seattle moves it out, Buglioni, and that taken off by Meixna. But Seattle still gains the zone as Brooke Bryant pushes that one in. At the line, kept in by Keppel. Bryant, one-timer feed. As that one, no one home, as that goes wide of the net and all the way down the ice. Keppel looks to play it, pursued by Barine. Really noticing Abby Barine on the forecheck a little more tenaciously these last couple of games.
That's what you want if you're a Vancouver fan. She is tenacious when she gets in deep and good in front of the net.
Her teammates loved her in Minnesota. They loved her in Montreal as well. Listening to Laura Stacey and Marie-Philippe Poulin raving about what a good teammate she was as she was finishing her degree in pharmaceutical. As Gardner, good aggressive check as he sends that down the ice and goes off for a change. Ashton Bell racing out on the ice, attacking Gosling. Sarah Nurse back out there as well. 2 goals in her last game against the Toronto Scepters. As Bell slipped and fell. And Karvinen will skate that one out of danger. Dumps that one in. Lobdell back to play it. Lobdell, who played her hockey at Penn State, shot right on net. Karvinen goes crashing into the net as Murphy turned that one aside. On the back end, what a shot there by Sarah Nurse, denied by Murphy. Looking to go the other way. Here comes the Torrent. A little too far for Julia Gosling. Back to play it. There's Sophie Jakes pushed up ahead for Benisheva down the right side on the back end. Poked away there by Wagner. Back to the line. Jakes couldn't keep that one in. Vancouver forced to regroup. Jakes will send that one back in. Barine out there with Rosenthal. Snodgrass comes up with it. She's got a Gia. Wrist shot. Goes off the shin pad. And wide. Nina Jope-Smith. Missed a ton of time to start the season with injury. But looking more and more confident every game. Intercepted here. Barine, like a honey badger, in on the forecheck all night. Snodgrass going the other way. That's deflected into the corner. Barine back up with it again. At center. Dumps that one in, and she'll go for a well-deserved change.
You're talking about players that have been visible, and certainly she is one for Vancouver, Abby Barine.
Bilka dumps that one in behind the net, and Seattle back with their big guns. That top line. And offside the call as Wilgren tried to keep that one in. Still 1-0 Vancouver in front near the midway mark of period number 2.
Well, teams are always looking to get a little contribution from the back end, and there's some players that have really answered the call. Of course, Megan Keller, what a season she's having. How about Maeve Batherson in the sophomore season that she's having as well? But for Vancouver, Claire Thompson and Sophie Jakes have just been outstanding. And Vancouver team that has struggled to put up points at times this year, but they have been getting an awful lot from those two defenders.
Keller, can we also give some props to the rookies? How about Gilday on that list? With 7 already in her inaugural season. Oh, we were talking about Kaltnikova now with what? 8 goals on the season? Or 9 goals now for the rookie. First overall pick in New York.
There's some really good rookie performances. And rookies, when you look at the back end, Haley Wynn, talk about who could be a rookie of the year. What a season she's having as well.
Well, need we say what we were talking about at lunch today about the impending rookie class that could be coming in 2026.
Yeah, rookies that are ready to come right in and make an impact.
Oh, look at this. Benisheva taking it right off Wilgren, who looked like she was napping on the play. And Vancouver now creating some trouble down in the Seattle zone. Thompson tied up by Bilka. From the side of the net, Nurse puts it in front. Oh, what a chance by Jakes going hard to the net. Nurse back up with it. Gets it to the point. Karvinen puts a shot. Blocked by Barnes. And Seattle will skip it out of harm's way and flip it into the Vancouver bench. 1-0 still here in period number 2. 11:37 to go. Off the draw. Gardner gets that one back to Thompson. Sophie Jakes hammers that one back deep once again. Thompson tied up by Eldridge, who flips that one out. And here comes Serdachny with some steam down the right side. Centering feed. Daniel blocks that one. And here's Murphy chipping that one up ahead for Gardner. It's a 1-on-1. Gardner and Keppel centering to Daniel. Shot off a skate and goes wide. Keppel battling for it. And that one is picked up by Emily Brown through center. Thompson will take that, hounded by Serdachny. And here's Abby Barine once more, flips that one up. Mannon McMahon circling, gets that to the point to Bard. Job Smith puts it on front, off a Torrent skate. McMahon comes up with it once more. Rosenthal out there buzzing around. MGM, Michaela Grant-Mentis from behind her net. Long stretch pass for Snodgrass. Agia sends that one in deep. Rosenthal bumping for that. Agia. Shot goes just wide of the net. Lobdell keeps that one in. Bard trying to get that one over to Job Smith, just out of her reach. Pushed up, kept in at the line. Great play there by MGM. Here's a shot, Mashfire in front to make the save.
Wide open game. And still anyone's up for grabs here as we are just past the midway mark of this one. 1-0 Vancouver leading. James Savalsky, Becky Keller. Here from Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City. And fans seem to be continuing to trickle in here, as about an hour ago the AFC Championship wrapped up just a few hundred meters down the road, across the parking lot essentially, Becky, and great crowd here.
Well, why not? Why try to get through traffic? Just come over here and watch a hockey game.
Yeah. Oh, what a chance in front there as Gosling got denied. Daniel looking the wrong way. And Vancouver in transition kind of sputtered on that one. Little bumper car hockey at the moment now.
Seattle's chances have all come from right in the slot. This time it's Julie Gosling. She just couldn't pull the trigger.
Here's a break. Sarah Nurse all alone. Oh, blocker save. Hannah Murphy, how you doing? Rebound. Oh, what a chance there for Jakes. Murphy denies her there. Hannah Murphy shaking everything off.
Playing some run and gun hockey here, James.
Woo!
It's been straight north for both teams. The chances have been outrageous. I cannot believe this score is 1-0.
Look, you won 3 Olympic gold medals. Lock it down on D, Becky. But I'll tell you what, I love me some offense.
Everybody loves a little bit of offense. Everybody except the coaches. And we've had that conversation with these coaches where they said, hey, you know what? Sometimes there's some value into a defender that's going to just stay home. There's chances both sides. There's Julia Gosling, just can't quite corral this off her skate. Bounces over her stick, doesn't get the shot off. A little chaos ensues, and then straight north the other way. Player as hot as this, Sarah Nurse, you don't want to let her in all alone. She's not able to find the net either. And then how about that? Sophie Jakes is right there on the doorstep.
Both teams going after it. Here's Bilka up ahead to Hillary Knight. Bilka trying to go backhand, but that was knocked away. Good D there by Ashton Bell. Bilka back up with it in front. But Barnes just on an awkward angle, couldn't handle that one.
Barnes looking for her first goal, and she's in as well. A player that you got to think is going to get on the score sheet at some point.
Absolutely.
You've seen both sides, the defenders really active, getting up ice, trying to jump into the rush.
And icing the call. Win in regulation for either one of these teams puts them right up into the mix, into the standings, and back into the playoff race. So this one absolutely critical for both teams as icing called here. Vancouver schedule very home heavy coming up in March, and they are a much different team at that Pacific Coliseum. Behind the net, McMahon tried to center that one. Broken up there by MGM.
Anna McMahon was wide open in front. You talk about wanting to defend. She should not be able to be all alone in front of the net.
We've seen this a lot, though, tonight. Oh, Grant Mentis, look at this on the backhand. Some nice moves there as Samaskevich. Haven't seen a lot of her out there tonight. Very diverse player. Oh, that went off the skate of McMahon and almost into their own net, but just wide as Mashmeyer covers that one up for the whistle to say, okay, let's simmer down now. Face off to the left of Mashmeyer. Off the draw, great play there by Thompson to escape the zone. Here's Daniel down the right side. She got tripped up, still centering. Rebound, oh, what a chance there for Gardner for her second. Couldn't corral that one, but Izzy Daniel creating opportunities even on her stomach as Murphy makes a bad save on that one.
I think Daniel got a tip on that.
Look at this. We got a breakaway. Jesse Eldridge scores! Cowabunga! Jesse Eldridge makes it a 1-1 game.
And there's your fine line between getting your D up ice and getting your D active and having your D back and defending. And Jesse Eldridge just scrapes right through the middle of the ice, gets in behind both D. She's all alone. We talked about her this game. She's a player that is very good when she can get in tight. She takes this puck right in, head up. Looked like maybe she was going to release a slapper. And then she releases that snapshot. A little bit of deception on it. She evens things out.
That is a goal scorer's goal for Jesse Eldridge with her 4th goal this season. A recent inductee of the Barrie, Ontario Sports Hall of Fame.
Her dad's still coaching junior hockey in Barrie, still having an impact on the young players that are coming up through that system, looking to play NCAA hockey. So another good hockey family.
And I'd be curious how much snow Barrie's getting at this moment right now.
I'm sure it's not light.
Bilka tripped up as Bell backhands that one over to Channel Watkins. Oh, no, Lovedale couldn't keep that in. Both teams seem to be leaking a little bit defensively, giving up those opportunities. It's been an entertaining game, but probably graying the coach's hair. Or losing it, depending on which bench you're on.
Yeah, I would say. And like you said, there's that fine line. Now, when you get Jakes and Thompson together, they're both offensively minded, so maybe that's something you're willing to live with, is that that's going to happen the odd time. Their offensive upside is pretty strong, but you're right, it's been leaky. It's been leaky throughout the lineup.
Here's Nurse going through everybody's shot. Glove save there, made by Murphy once again, who's keeping her team in it.
Talk about making something out of nothing as Sarah Nurse brings this puck across the line, gets a chance. Eldridge, though, has evened it up.
Well, it's
been an entertaining affair. Tied at 1. 5 minutes to go here in period number 2 from Ball Arena on the Takeover Tour, the latest stop here in the PWHL. Ina Jope Smith put that one up to Miller, had that one taken away on the backhand. Serdachny! Mashmeyer comes up with the stop. Jope Smith to Sydney Bard.
Serdachny on the turnover, and she kind of bullied her way into the net for that chance.
Serdachny, a notable omission from the Canadian Olympic squad, and she's looked noticeable out here too.
Yeah, she's got some really good offensive upside, some really good skill. It's tough because they've got to reduce that roster going from the World Championships to the Olympics, so some hard decisions to be made for sure.
Especially with the depth of the field that Canada and the United States both boast compared to other nations. Mike Snuff leaving that for Abby Barine. Abby Rosenthal also went on the forecheck. Rosenthal, very noticeable this season, but just hasn't had the offensive luck so far. But not afraid to play physical. Intercepted at the line. Rosenthal pushes that one up. Overskated that one was Karvinen. As Murphy will play that one behind the net. Karvinen, first one there. Trying to get it to Abby Barine. Fanned on that one. Karvinen back with it. Back to the line. Here's Jakes. Floats that one in. And that was blocked by Emily Brown. Getting in front of that. Jakes with it once more. Sarah Nurse. Wrist shot in front. Rebound. Benny Siobhan Karvinen couldn't come up with that one. Here's Nurse once again. Centering feed goes wide. Nurse again. Takes a shot. Murphy with the save. A rebound. And Murphy hangs on. Great shift for that Vancouver line. You know, I was kind of saying earlier before the game, Vancouver is known for putting nicknames online. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before that Benisheva, Nurse, and Karvinen line is going to get labeled, Becky.
No nicknames yet, though. We asked Sarah Nurse about it, and she said, no, nothing yet, but yet was the operative word.
Yeah, we asked Brian Adelski as well, and he said, I'm not creative enough to come up with something like that. So
sometimes that's fan-based.
We'll leave that for the fans, yes. Wrist shot trying to go short side was Hillary Knight, but just a little too high. Barnes back to get it. She's got Wilgren with her as she's hounded by Jen Gardner. Gardner having herself a game as well. Here's Bilka. Across the line. Trying to get it up. She's got it again. Oh! Did that go off the pipe? Somehow that stayed out. As Bard comes up with it. Kept in by Barnes. We got Bard. We got Barnes. Our pets' heads are falling off. Back to the line. Put on net. Rebound. Snodgrass. Knight in front of the net as well. Gardner tries to knock it away. Another backhander that goes wide. All sorts of pressure here by the Torrent. 1:50 to go here in period number 2. Flipped up and down the ice. As Bard gets it down to go. And icing the call. Snodgrass wins the draw for Seattle. As Michaela Grant-Mentis battling along the wall, Vancouver comes up with it and sends it down the ice. And they'll quickly race to the bench to get those fresh legs. Intercepted there by Hannah Miller. Miller, the feed, over to Barine. Shot just about the side of the net. Abby Barine. You feel like she's due the way she's playing tonight.
Well, Miller stayed on for that opportunity. She was one of the players that needed off. So as soon as that rush was gone, she got off the ice. Good decision to stay.
Here's Rosenthal. Tied up, good defensive play there by Megan Carter. Here's a Gia. Final minute to go here in period number 2. Lobdell had that taken off by Barine. Rosenthal in on that forecheck too. Ashton Bell trying to keep it in at the line, but Snodgrass finds a way to go. At the other end, MGM leaves out a G on the backhand. That goes wide. End-to-end action here. Two teams, natural rivals based on their geographic proximity. Parachuted into Denver tonight, and they are giving the fans their money's worth. It's Murphy to play it. Here's Wilgren. 20 seconds to go in the period. Serdachny up ahead for Eldridge, who tied this one up. Shot just wide. Almost had the go-ahead goal there. Nurse takes a hard bump. Here's Karvinen with the dying seconds. She's got Vanisheva. Karvinen shot. Chest save made by Murphy. Seattle, one last rush, intercepted by Karvinen as play runs out on period number 2. All action in period number 2. Nurse and Carpenter, 2 of the league's best, going head-to-head at the dot. And it's Sarah Nurse who comes up for it. She's yet to score tonight, but she has been noticeable out there. Vanisheva behind the net. Back to the line. Channel Watkins dumps it back down. Karvinen. Vanisheva back with it. It was suggested on social media that we call this line the EMT line here, Becky.
Good job, social media. I told you the fans have come up with the nicknames.
Open to suggestions. Nurse back with it. Here's Ashton Bell. The Channel Watkins. Through center. Dumps that one in. She'll go off for a change. Keppel swats that one. Barine back in on the forecheck as well. Seattle going back the other way. Serdachny bumping with Meixna. Eldridge scored the last goal in this one. A critical one at that. And here's Eldridge again. Denied by Maschmeyer. Stop that one short side. Jakes.
Maschmeyer just hugging that post, making sure she doesn't cheat.
Back behind the net. Both teams will play one more game before the Olympic break. With Seattle taking on the scorching hot Minnesota. Whew. Minnesota's been on a roll. Big win today, as we just talked about a few minutes ago. And Vancouver, they've got one coming out. Sorry, check that. They've got Minnesota. Ottawa will take on Seattle later this week. There we go. Sabalski, get your head together. Come on. There's Hannah Miller getting a little twisted and turned there. Couldn't handle that pass. Carter pushes that one up. Molly Brown takes a bump. Pushed up ahead. There's Gardner with Miller. Miller down the right side. Shot right on to Murphy, who swallows that one up for the save. Back to the line it goes. Shot, that was blocked right there by Gosling. Sent right back in on the forecheck. Shahina, rare shift from her tonight. Puts it right on net.
There's a smart shot. The goaltender's still coming from behind the goal line. Shahina just throws that one to the net.
Anna Shahina, just 17 years of age when she suited up for Russia at the Sochi Games back in 2014.
Well, it's been fun watching the 2 Russian players in the league this year. Players that we haven't seen play because they haven't been on the world stage, and so you start to see some of the skill that they have. Katarova as well in Ottawa.
A real wild card, part of that trade last week with the Ottawa Charge for Vancouver. We've seen a lot of the impact that both Meixna and McMahon have made, but Shahina has that offensive upside. I think a lot of people looking at that trade saying, Michaela Cava, here's a chance for Sophie Chase. Glove save, Hannah Murphy.
Opportunity.
Off the draw. Seattle comes up with it. Skating out with it. Here's Alex Carpenter at center. Over to Hannah Bilka. Trying to elude Sophie Jakes. Now she's got Vanisheva on her. This is the big line for the Torrent. They've been quiet so far tonight. Can they change that? They certainly have the ability. There's Bilka. Was denied just like that. They've got that ability to turn it around in a second.
That's just a quick little pass from below the goal line. And Bilka, that puck is on and off her stick quickly. Maschmeyer with another good save.
Card pushes that one up. Meixna a little too far for her reach. Lobdell playing that. Vancouver looks noticeably quicker these last couple of games with these new acquisitions into the lineup. Eldridge, deep inside her own end, tried to clear, went off a skate and bounced to the other side. Brown pushed that one up. Here's Serdachny into the offensive end. Puts it on just wide of the net. Torrent trying to get to it. And Vancouver will clear. Lobdell from her own end. A former Penn State Nittany Lion. Pushed up ahead. Daniel had that one knocked away.
It's a nice step up from the rookie. Lobdell break that play up. Her team now goes back on offense.
Gosling with the toe drag around Bard and a wrist shot denied by Mashmeyer. Wow, that's skill. Mashmeyer again covering up on that. And Agia with some pushing and shoving in front. Off the draw. Vancouver comes up with it. Here's Bell. We've played 5 minutes of this third period. Still tied at 1. Feed for Hannah Miller. Couldn't reach that one. Here comes Kayla Barnes. Barnes with a great appearance recently on an episode of Jocks and Jills, talking about how she became a professional player, starting her hockey journey in East Vale, California. You don't hear about a lot of those, but
hearing more and more.
But they are coming. Yes, I mean, we've got players from Texas. We've got players from California. It is, the game continues to grow.
A couple from Colorado as well, but neither of them in this game. Both playing for Minnesota. So yeah, you're starting to see some really good representation across the country.
But the state of hockey still continues to pump them out in mass numbers in Minnesota.
It sure does.
The league just littered with players from the state of Minnesota. And you look at the attendance that Detroit has shown with some of these takeover games. Maybe that's a potential destination, as the league has talked openly about expanding in 26-27. So we'll see, but does that inspire potentially if a Detroit franchise shows up? Does that inspire the Michigan States or the Michigans to get a women's program?
You'd hope something would inspire them too.
Absolutely. Long overdue. Hey, if Ohio State can do it, if Penn State can do it, come on. Step it up, Wolverines and Spartans. Back the other way. Here come the Torrent. As Keppel dumps that one in.
Lots to talk about those first games back from the Olympics with all the players that are going overseas to play for their respective countries.
You say over 60 players from the league?
Over 60.
Shot in front, rebound, scores! Getting dizzy with Izzy. 2-1 Vancouver.
Oh, there's another icing and another one face-off. Vancouver's really taken advantage of that. Izzy Daniel, who we've noticed all game. We've commented on her play all game. She's been all around it. There's her point shot. You got 2 players net front. Quick shot as well, and then nice little touch. Hannah Miller to have the wherewithal to recognize, hey, she's on her backhand, but Izzy Daniel is not. So that's just a really smart play. Said this line's really starting to connect. They're starting to get things going. Love the confidence of Izzy Daniel, and she gets rewarded.
We talked about the sluggish start offensively for Hannah Miller as well. Great touch pass, as you alluded to, on the backhand in front, and that's points in consecutive games now for Hannah Miller. So that line's starting to cook, and Vancouver finally starting to generate some offense, and they lead 2-1. Now, can they protect the lead with 13.5 to go as the puck skips out of the zone? Goldeneyes with the go-ahead goal from Izzy Daniel. 2-1 Van City.
13 minutes. You don't want to lock it down too tight defensively. You still got lots of game to play, but you're going to be aware of the opportunities that you're giving up.
Just showing on the big screen, fans throughout the crowd, and another heated rivalry sign. Like, heated rivalry is everywhere right now, Becky. They talk about it at the Golden Globes. They're talking about it on Saturday Night Live, all the talk shows. Might be the biggest thing for the sport that we've seen in a long time.
Well, it is, and I believe we had the author in Halifax, so...
Yes. Here's Meichner on the attack. Cycling. And that was intercepted. Seattle trying to go the other way.
Anna Wilgren just looking to poke that puck by and go the other way.
Intercepted. Look at this. Right in front. Snodgrass. Dangerous. Ooh, what a kick save by Mashmeyer. That took a funky bounce. Here's Nurse with it behind the net. 12-13 to go here in period number 3. Jakes pushes that one up. Nurse tried to grab that, but it skipped over her stick. Back the other way, here come the Torrent. Agia, Snodgrass. Michaela Grant-Mentis, she's been noticeable out there here this evening. Thompson comes up with it. And she'll look to skate this one out. Through the neutral zone, push that one over to Sarah Nurse. In on the attack, poked away. And here comes Seattle in transition. A long shift here for MGM. She'll put that on Mashmeyer and she'll hang on. Leaves that one for Channel Watkins behind the net.
She took a quick look around, surveyed the situation, and realized she's better off to play that puck. A couple turnovers for Vancouver.
Yeah, getting dangerous, getting risky. Not the way you want to play when you're trying to protect a 1-goal lead. Channel Watkins back behind her net once again. Pushed it too far for Ashton Bell. Another errant pass in front. A little careless out here, Becky.
Yeah.
Here's Carpenter. Short side. Save made by Mashmeyer. She'll hang on. Off the draw. Here's Marine. She's got McMahon with her. Pushed up a little too far ahead. Sent back down the length of the ice. Nearing the midway mark of period number 3. Gosling to Serdachny. Pushed in front for Eldridge. Couldn't get that one.
Serdachny chased behind the goal line. Vancouver was not ready for that, and then they turned the puck over, so it's a really nice read.
McMahon tried to center that one for Daniel. Here's Miller. Line that scored that go-ahead goal for Vancouver back out there once again. Here's Eldridge. Going the other way. Daniel back with it. Across the line. Into the offensive end for Miller. Bounced off her stick. She's tied up. Jen Gardner back with it. Gets it back to the line. Jakes with a blast. Blocker stop made by Murphy. Here's Agia. That went off a skate in front of the net. Agia's boyfriend, a receiver with the Tennessee Titans, showing lots of love for the PWHL this year, showing up a few times on game day, repping the Seattle Torrent jersey. Great hustle by Snodgrass to push up ahead. Here's Snodgrass working hard with Channel Watkins. Manisheva helping out. Good hit there by Emily Brown. That checking line, that middle 6 group, noticeable out there. Here's Sarah Nurse, pushed up ahead for Benisheva. Sent back down. Ashton Bell with it. Flipped down the ice. Wilgren back to play it. Anna Wilgren. Trying to shake off Abby Barine. That little honey badger that she is.
She had a beat on that for sure. Wilgren does a nice job to protect the puck, and she's a player I've been really impressed with since she's come into the league.
On the backhand, stop there as Bilka denied by Mashmeyer. Congratulations to your son's New England Patriots, by the way, off of the Super Bowl.
It's his 19th birthday, too, so I should throw that out there to happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To Zach. Both my sons have to be New England Patriots fans, so don't hold it against me. But
did you hide his ID on him?
19 in Ontario, it's a big one.
That is a huge one in the province of Ontario. Here battling in front of the net. Nobody home at the line. And sent down the ice as Mashmeyer will come out to play that one, leave that one as Serdachny was coming in hot. Jakes pushes that ahead for Karvinen. Will deflect that one into the Seattle zone as the clock continues to tick down. Under 8 minutes to go here now. Rosenthal battling with Lobdell. Marine in there as well. Of course she's banging and crashing. Eldridge also into that mix. The puck escapes the zone. Ashton Bell skated back, pushed that one back up to Mike Snuck. Couldn't reach that one, and back down inside the Seattle end. Bilka out there for Seattle. She could turn this game on a dime. Hillary Knight out there with her. She knows what it's like to deliver in big moments. Intercepted by Miller. And she'll send that one right back in. Down to 7 minutes to go. Vancouver happy with this approach right now,
well,
Becky.
I think so. It looks like it's pretty clear directive from the bench, I would imagine.
Here's Barnes breaking on through, cutting to the net, putting it in front. Rebound, that's cleared. And it escapes the zone. Wilgren back to play it. Leaves it for Carpenter. Cross ice for Wilgren, who'll skate it into the Vancouver end. In front, feed for Carpenter, deflected by Gardner. Good heads-up play there by Jen Gardner, who opened the scoring. Daniel will dump that one in and get off.
Well, look tonight, right now, like Vancouver's just making sure that they've got numbers back.
Intercepted by Karvinen. Here comes Venisheva. Down the right side, saved by Murphy. A rebound in front, scores! It's in the back of the net. Michelle Karvinen makes it 3-1 Goldeneyes.
This play starts and it ends with Michelle Karvinen. She's the one that's high. She's in good position. She picks the puck over. Seattle's trying to come out of their zone, so just nice and disciplined above the puck. And then she jumps into the action and is able to pick up the rebound. But, you know, you put yourself in a position to create those turnovers. You're attacking down on the puck. Vancouver in really good defensive position. Defense often good defense leads to good offense. Michelle Karvinen, who first-round draft pick, they've been waiting for her to start to break through, and she's been doing that over the last few games as well. So things just really seem to be coming together for Vancouver right now.
Well, is this the Nursey effect?
Well, it could be. And listen, they make the trade. They get Sarah Nurse back. They get Job Smith as well. And we don't talk a lot about her, but she's really calming influence back there. I've liked her game. She's very simple. So a lot of pieces that are coming together.
Not your traditional first-round pick, Michelle Karvinen, the 36-year-old, will be playing for Finland in just a couple of weeks at the Olympics in Milano Cortina, as Karvinen picks up her second of the season. But Venisheva getting a greasy-type goal to finally get that weight off her shoulder against Toronto, and now Karvinen gets her second of the season, alongside with Sarah Nurse. The offense is starting to come here as Nurse picks up an assist along with Venisheva on that third goal tonight for the Goldeneyes, and now they have a little more breathing room here, Becky.
Well, this is what was predicted, that they were going to be a team that could score goals, and then they weren't. Of course, the same prediction would be with Seattle. They've got some firepower, so when are they going to find that offensive stride? Maybe they do, maybe they don't this season, as they try to come together as well.
Just over 5 to go here in period number 3. 3-1, Vancouver leads it. Here's Sir Daphne down the left side. They need something quick. Off the pipe! Oh, just like that! Tough break for the Torrent, and here comes Vancouver the other way. Jakes has got Thompson. Shot just wide. There's your two defenders in, and another 2-on-1, Becky.
I don't know about that right now.
Eldred was a blast. Blocker stopped by Maschmeyer.
You're holding a 2-goal lead with 5 minutes left. I don't believe you need both D up ice on a rush. I'd be interested to see if Brian Nadolski has any words for them. If they score, you leave it alone maybe, but...
Look at this on the backhand. Oh, what a stop by Maschmeyer to 9. Bilka. Seattle coming in hot now. Barnes pushes that one up. Here comes Bilka again. Cross ice feed, Wilgren. Shot. Blocked by Bell. We are not done yet here, everybody. Back in. Hillary Knight had her shot blocked as Maschmeyer hangs on with 4:01 to go.
Woo! Well, the chances that have been coming in Seattle, of course, rings one off the post as well. They've had all sorts of opportunities. Maschmeyer again closes the door.
Here we go with 4 minutes to go. Seattle needs 2 to tie. Barnes shot that one wide. As Blink 182, the sing-along is happening here in Denver. A ritual. They're loving it. They're having a good time. The 11,000 strong as that escapes the zone. Knight plays that back for Wildgren. Through center. Into the offensive end. Here comes Hillary Knight cutting to the front of the net and had that one knocked away. The multi-time medalist. Gold medalist. Multiple silver.
I would imagine they'll be getting a goaltender out pretty soon. Murphy's been keeping her eye on the bench. They need 2 goals, so we get to the 3-minute mark, and I think she's coming out.
Time not on Seattle's side right now. Channel Watkins battling for it. Back to the line. Here's Gosling. Hounded. Vancouver comes up with it. Loose puck. Here comes Abby Barine. Abby Barine in. Stopped by Murphy. Another chance in front. Denied. Murphy coming up big. Serdachny looking to go the other way. Here's Gosling. Shot. Blocked. Bell takes it. End-to-end action here between Seattle and Vancouver. Oh, I'm loving this. Seattle down by 2. Vancouver comes up with it. Channel Watkins rips it along the wall. Barnes keeps it in. Wildgren. Here's Bilka. For Barnes. Barnes back to Wildgren. Here's Knight. Takes a shot. Blocked in traffic. Bashfire hangs on. Off the draw again. Seattle with it. Barnes. Down low. Bilka. Back to Barnes. To Wildgren. Wildgren. Barnes. Back to Wildgren. Down low to Knight. Back to Wildgren. Blocked by Daniel. Seattle back with it though. Eldridge. Lost that one. Jake sends it down the ice. Icing waved off. 1:48 to go. Seattle back to go get it with an empty net. Nurse almost intercepted that, but Barnes stays out there. It's been a long shift for this line. Carpenter tried to put one on net, but that was blocked. Jake's with it. Ships it along. Wildgren hangs on to it. Intercepted by Jakes. She had that one taken away from her. Here's Bilka. Bilka leaves that one for Barnes. Tees it up just wide. In front. Nobody there. Karvinen with it. Trying to get it out. Vanisheva pokes it out with 1:13 to go. Here's Carpenter at center. Lead pass too far for Bilka to handle. But Snodgrass comes up with it. Kept in. Nurse trying to clear that one out. Through center. Nurse putting pressure on. Carpenter still out there. Snodgrass at center. Dumps that one in. Final minute to go. 45 seconds left. Jake's with it. Pushes that up for Barine. Taken away by Serdachny. Knight still out there. Nobody home at the line as Seattle caught changing. Gosling back to play with 32 seconds to go. McMahon out there with a fresh set of legs, poking that one away. Down to 20 seconds. Bell trying to clear that one out. One last push here for the Torrent. Rosenthal banging away. Serdachny tied up against the wall. Under 5 seconds to go here now. It's going to be a Goldeneyes victory. Back-to-back wins. And a rare victory for the Goldeneyes away from the Pacific Coliseum. 8 goals in the last 2 games for Vancouver and just 1 goal against. Wow. Everyone having a great time as Denver wanted PWHL hockey and they got an absolute adventure. Jen Gardner opens the scoring. Things got a little nasty. Jesse Eldridge answered back, but it was the Goldeneyes powering away with 2 big goals in the third to take it 3-1. For Becky Keller and everyone in the broadcast booth, I'm James Cybulski. Good night from Denver.